I mean, how hard is it? Like, realistically, how hard is it to actually go to a listing presentation and say to an owner, right, Mr. and Mrs. Vendor, when you're listing the property, how hard is it to actually say to the vendor, I think your price of your property based on comparables is 1 to 1.1. That is my estimated selling price. Now, I know that you're hoping to get more, and I've got to let you know, if it's out there, we'll get it. And my job is to try and find a buyer that has the same view on value as you. What you do need to know is our method of actually coming up with a selling estimate is this. These are the properties that I'm using, but I am letting you know that my job is to try and get you the highest price and to find someone that thinks the same value as you. That is not a difficult thing to do. And I've got to say to you, it's also not hard, right, to actually turn around and say to a buyer, when a buyer is coming through, right, what are they hoping to get? My selling estimate that is on my agency agreement is 1 to 1.1, right? That is it. This is not rocket science stuff. By the way, I've got to say that this time next year, the world of auctions are going to be very different in both Sydney and Melbourne, I'm very certain. Sydney, they're going to be very different because I think by this time next year and even before that, we are going to have price guides on the advertisements of every property. I'm going to repeat that. So when you go onto realestate.com or Domain, it will actually have a price or a price bracket. The price bracket most likely will be 10%, and the price will be the price will be a one figure. So they're trying to work through that. So I had a meeting with Angus Abadee, the Commissioner for New South Wales that looks after property and strata services during the week. And I've got to tell you, impressive fellow, very impressive. He's only taken on the role, and prior to that, he was filling in as a temporary. But I've got to tell you, he's a very impressive person. Giving you, Ali, the sales so far are 8 out of 14. I've got one more auction. And look, it's obvious that he is hell-bent in sorting out this underquoting issue. Now, I have been a very long proponent. John McGrath and I both have been. If you've been listening to our $1 Million Agent podcast, a public podcast, we have been drumming on it since 2013 that having a price guide on auctions is better for everyone. End of story. Realestate.com tells us when there is a price guide on a property, more buyers actually engage with that advertisement. It is a no-brainer. Now, New South Wales is the only state that at the moment basically gives agents two options with price quoting. Either say nothing to them. We're not giving you any price, or give you a price guide of a 10% range. And I'm pretty certain that that's going to be changing. But I've got to say to you, what I think will be the single one thing that's going to change the behavior of real estate agents in the way that they act with price quoting on auctions is going to be, I think, the humiliation of actually be branded an underquoting agent. And the humiliation is going to be because, from what I can understand, and don't be surprised if this is going to actually be in place, and that is, if you have been caught underquoting, you'll actually have it up on your signboards, at your properties, at your window display. You'll be branded, you'll be humiliated, because I think what the government is thinking to themselves is, if $2,000 and $3,000 fines aren't doing it, I've got to say to you that what we'll do is we'll actually get you emotionally. And as Sam is saying, hi Tom's, auctions will never be the same again. I think that there's going to be less auctions. I don't know that there's going to be significantly less auctions, but I think that there's a group of people that are sort of sitting on the fence, and they're going to turn around and they're going to say, listen, it's all too hard. Well, listen, I've got to tell you, Sam, it's a lot more people. And I've got to tell you, I don't comment on things that are still under investigation, because I'm a lot more smarter than actually putting myself in a defamatory position, which I can tell you, I've got daughters that are, aspiring lawyers, and I've got to let you know that today I'm at 14 auctions and I still have one more to go. That means 15 auctions, and I have got 3 auctions scheduled for tomorrow. So this is arguably my biggest auction week of the year. Definitely my biggest auction day of the year at 15 auctions. And if the last one sells, it will be 9 out of 15. If the last one doesn't sell, it will be 8 out of 15. And I have to say that it happens every time this year, and that is depth of buyers starts to actual dwindle. And it's no surprise. Most people in the world of real estate actually turn around the last week or two and they hit Westfield, they hit the beach, they hang out with families. And that's why what you're seeing is a large number of properties that are either being cancelled, withdrawn, or sold prior. And for me, the most likely scenario is that today I'm going to end up roughly with 50%, maybe just over 50%. And it's quite incredible how life has changed in a matter of basically 6 weeks. So 6 weeks ago, we were sitting here and we were talking about rate cut on Melbourne Cup Day, rate cut in February, rate cut middle of the year. And now, if you actually ask all the people that have a view that matters more than the public, people that work in the financial services as very senior executives, they've essentially turned around and said there's a 40 to 50% chance. Thank you, Ash. There's a 40 to 50% chance that there's going to be a rate rise in February, and there is like 100% chance there's going to be a rate rise by the middle of the year. Now, there are a number of data sets that are going to impact that. And obviously now we get monthly inflation numbers on the last Wednesday of every month. That's going to be the biggest indicator. The only savior that I think we're going to have is if we get, unemployment going up. Hopefully that actually then forces the bank to look at rates. But at the moment, I think the Reserve Bank, from their commentary, if anything, they probably feel that they went one rate cut too many. That's what they're thinking. They are more than happy. They've essentially said, I've actually got it on my social media account. They've essentially said that as far as they're concerned, that is the end of rate cuts in this cycle. And that at best case scenario for a current mortgage holder, your rates will stay the same, or they'll be going up. They are their words. They are the Reserve Bank's head's words. And in addition to that, I've also got to say to you that the fixed rates have been quietly going up in the last day or so. And when a fixed rate goes up, basically the bank is saying is we think that rates are going up. Anyway, team, I've got to let you know the other thing that's happened during the week, which is something that I've been looking at doing for about a year and a half. We made the decision about 6 months ago, and my 3 new performance coaches commence work in January 2026. 2026, my new performance coaches. Now, I want to let you know, all 3 are females. So I've had a lot of people say to me, Tom, why didn't you put 1 male? Well, I don't make my decisions based on gender, because these 3 I've worked with for close to 20 years. Angie Dunn, Phoebe Cook, and Nicole Goldsmith. And I'm going to say something. You know why I like female coaches? Because they understand the juggle. You know why I like female coaches? Because they've got high EQ. You know why I like female coaches? Because they understand keeping people accountable, but without intimidate them, without pressurizing them, without actually humiliating them. And the thing I like, Phoebe, by the way, I can just see Phoebe's wave. Hey, Phoebe, listen, I've got to tell you, Phoebe, I'll tell you why I like you. Number 1, you've got an MBA. What does that mean? You've got the ability to actually have the intellectual opportunity to analyze information in a rational way. Number 2, you've got a diploma in psychotherapy. And I've got to tell you, extremely useful. I don't think real estate agents need to keep being told, prospect more. They sort of get it. What we really need to know is, why aren't you prospecting more? What's the thinking pattern? What's the friction points? What are the things that we need to do to actually change, whether it's a narrative, a self-limiting belief, or a lot of the times it's just processes. And I've got to tell you, Phoebe Cook, along with Angie Dunn and Nicole Goldsmith, are going to be your black belt coaches that are going to have high IQ and understand you. But in addition to that, make sure that they keep you accountable without intimidating you. And I also think that in an industry where I got to tell you, and we got some really good coaches and trainers around Australia. We've also got some very poor ones. The reason I like all the 3 coaches I've put on is I need, half my client base are females. I need to be able to have people that understand the juggle the real estate agents go through, right? It's not like, they're footloose, fancy free. They go home. Most of my clients go home and have to bath children. My female agents don't want to hear work harder. What they want to hear is, give me some hacks to be more efficient and effective, because I want to have a successful real estate life, but I also don't want to lose my life, don't want to get divorced, don't want to have a bad relationship with my kids. Because at the end of the day, we got to keep remembering, real estate is a vehicle to help you have an extraordinary life. So I'm going to introduce you over the next couple of weeks to my coaches. Please don't forget, February the 10th, the Real Estate Gym 2026 Kickstart, $39 Real Estate Gym members, $39. You'll be able to see Oliver Lavers, John McGrath, Marty Fox, Dib Chidiak. We've got a panel of young agents that are doing 100 deals a year. The link is there. In addition to that, I want to let you know, I'm an ambassador for a number of firms, realestate.com included, but Wingman at 11 o'clock is putting on an event. It is a free event that I'm speaking with John McGrath, Nick Georges, and myself, 11 o'clock this Wednesday. Susan, could you please put the link in the comments? And Nick Georges, could you, if you're watching, could you also put the link in the comments? Because there is going to be a major announcement about Eric on that Zoom. 11 o'clock Wednesday, please register. It is basically 5 or 6 things you've got to do so you come back in January and you're not lying on the tarmac, but you're up in the air and you're up and you're running. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much. I'm about to go into my last property. I can see a couple of buyers walking in. It's going to be a challenging one. I've got auctions tomorrow. I've got auctions all week this week. I've got to let you know, nothing is going easy at the moment. I have just counted my appointments for Monday to Friday next week. There is 78 appointments. It is long days, long nights. Anyway, team, I've got my eyes on the prize. I thought I'd be finishing work around the 13th or 14th of December, which would have been today, but it is going to be the 20th. But I've got to say to you, it's been a fantastic year. It's been a great year, and it's been a good year because, you know why? Health is wealth. That's the reason why. Tigers coming last again, you think? Listen, it's a lot better at the end of this week than it was at the start of this week. At the start of this week, we were an absolute mess. We've got Benji back for 5 years. We've got our team, our directors are back, and hopefully we can put that behind us. Let's go do this auction.